Well, good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. Boy, is it going to be a hot one out there today, but beautiful. And we are celebrating some friends here from Holzer today. Welcome. We're so happy to have you.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, of course. And we are going to be talking about all things kind of residents and general medicine and maybe the difference between DO and MD and some of the other fun things that we can talk about that you all are experts on and I'm not. So I can ask you all kind of fun questions.
Absolutely.
So welcome. So we have Dr. Huntley. I'm sure many of you know him. Dr. Hansen, who is, you said a third-year resident.
Coming up to be.
Be a third-year resident. And then I'm going to get this right, Fedorczyk.
Very good.
Yes. Got it. And you will be graduating this June. So how exciting.
Yes, and then I'll be coming on as a full-time family medicine practitioner, hopefully in July. So
very fun. Well, you got to take a little break in between, school and the whole career thing, right? Yeah, okay. All right, well, very good. Well, I'll tell you what, we do have a message, and then we will be back and talk with our friends from Holzer about all kind of fun stuff. So stay tuned.
At Vinton County National Bank, we believe in supporting the areas where we live and work. Now, we'd like to honor those who also serve our communities. Our new Community Champions account is especially for first responders, veterans, active military, and anyone employed in the fields of healthcare or education. This account offers rewards, discounts, and other benefits to those who give so much to others. Vinton County National Bank, rewarding those who serve.
All right, and we are back with some friends from Holzer, and I guess I just wanted to start off by telling you thanks for coming in because y'all are so busy over there, and thank you for taking care of all of us in the community.
Well, thanks for having us again.
Well, of course, yes. All right, so family medicine is like crazy to me because you have to do a little bit of everything. How do you all know how to do all this stuff?
Well, medical school is very extensive. They prepare us well.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's good.
I mean, a lot of it you also learn in residency as well.
Yes.
There's, when you come out of medical school, there's a lot that you know. There's a lot that you don't know, and you don't even realize it. And so residency kind of helps solidify a lot of what you know and learning new stuff and putting it into practice with patients.
Sure. Right, and we have very specific rotations that we have to do as a requirement for graduation, but also we have electives. So if we have any interests in different things, then we'll do those, and that will kind of give us our subspecialties.
Mm-hmm. Sure, and I think and we were talking off the air, even with family medicine, everybody does have something that they kind of like to focus on, correct?
Correct. Mm-hmm. So as medical students, we go through every medical specialty doing rotations. And then after we complete all those rotations, we do that again in residency once again. So any additional skills that we like, if we gravitate towards psychiatry, for instance, or gravitate towards surgery, we may pick up additional surgery skills or may pick up better skills in dealing with anxiety, depression, or schizophrenia, complex mental conditions. And then those are things we can take to our practice and share with our patients as well.
Sure, absolutely. And I heard your interview on the radio, and some of you, one of you was talking about kind of focusing on mental health. Who was that?
That was me.
I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah, this is my second career. So I was a mental health counselor with a master's degree for a couple of decades prior to this.
Wow.
And I worked predominantly in community mental health, which I think really helped me be able to work with all ages. And so family medicine was a good fit for me. And I just couldn't imagine myself, because originally I wanted to go into psychiatry, of course, but 5-minute med checks just, that's all you're doing the rest of your life. So in family medicine, I can do procedures, I could be in surgery, helping out the surgeon. I can do my mental health thing. So so this part of my life, I've already carried forward the mental health piece, and it's really helpful with like bedside manner.
I would think so.
But also a lot of people I realized, they like to come to their primary care first, and then will refer to mental health. But this way, I can kind of screen them ahead of time, and I'm very comfortable with some of your basic mental health issues, so they don't have to go anywhere, which, the mental health field is just really burdened. There's not enough practitioners, and there's long wait times anyway. So I kind of feel like my role is helping that situation, and so they can come and see me first.
I think that is so amazing because, like I said, if there's nothing else that came out of this stupid pandemic in which we all had to endure, you probably more than others, is the fact that for some reason it became okay to start talking about mental health. And I think that is a great thing because
Yes.
there's such a stigma behind it, and it's nice to have somebody that's kind of specializing in that. I think
Yeah.
that's wonderful, and to know that you're not alone out there.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
You bring a lot to the table with that. It's just interesting. Okay, and Dr. Hansen, so let's talk about, so you're getting ready to go into your third year of residency. So can you break down kind of the years of you go to medical school, and then what happens?
So you go to medical school, the first 2 years are in class learning, and then the second 2 years are clinical rotations where you're seeing actual patients with doctors and getting more real life exposure. And then you graduate, and you can go straight into like general practice. I think it's hard to get reimbursement from insurance like that. So it's much easier to go into residency after that, and then you can specialize further. And so family medicine, the residency is about 3 years, so I'm going into my last year.
Okay.
And the first year you're an intern. First year you're just learning everything, getting more experience, and then and then you do 2 more years, and then hopefully by third year you feel confident to go out and practice by yourself. You can further specialize. You could do like a fellowship.
Okay.
I think from family medicine, some of the big fellowships would be like sports medicine or geriatrics. I think addiction medicine might be
Yes.
one.
Infectious
Yeah.
disease is a possibility as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you're talking about 4 years of
Medical school,
and then 3 years of a residency
For family and
For
a few
family.
others.
for family. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, some other residencies are longer.
Yes.
No wonder you guys, although 7 years probably goes pretty fast, honestly, but you guys are learning a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and along the way, we have step examinations that are exams to check and make sure we know what we're supposed to know. So after year 2, we take step 1. After year 3, we take step 2. Step 2 used to consist of 2 exams, a CE and a PE examination. Now it's just the CE examination or CS examination, and then after the first year of residency, we sit for the step 3 examination.
Okay. So there's a lot of checking you along the
There
way,
are.
too.
Yes.
There are.
Oh, gosh, as if you're not stressed out enough, right?
Right. And then in third year before you graduate from residency, or however long your residency is, there's also board certification exams.
It's a national board
Yeah.
exam.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
No pressure or anything, right?
No, not at all.
What happens when you go through all of that and then can't pass the exam?
You try again.
Okay.
Yes.
And at most
You
states, you
get-
get 3 tries.
Okay.
And after the 3rd try, good luck.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Gosh, I can't even imagine that.
Yes.
So why did you all choose family medicine? Because there's any number of things that you could specialize in.
Honestly speaking, to me, I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do. I was a surgical tech before I went to go be a doctor, so thoroughly enjoyed surgery, but just didn't want to quite be a surgeon. Figured I wanted more of a developed family life. So thoroughly enjoyed psychiatry, even for a little bit of time. Thought I wanted to be a psychiatrist, except I really like taking care of diabetes and hypertension as well. So
Well, you've come to the right place, Dr. Huntley.
I like that there's a lot of different things that you can do. Like when I was doing my rotations, they're like, I like surgery, but I'm like, I can't imagine myself doing only surgery all the time. Or I liked pediatrics, but I can't imagine only seeing kids. I like seeing adults as well. And
Sure.
So I like that you can have a little bit of everything with family medicine. And I also like being kind of like the first step and the touchstone. So like if I know a little bit of everything, and then if it goes past my expertise, I send them out to a specialist, but then like I get all of the reports and I help like kind of organize whatever's happening and bring it all together so it's not so fragmented.
I always like to say, and this may be wrong or offensive, but you all are like kind of the concierge of someone's medical care.
No, I would agree with
because
that.
they start with you, and then you organize where to send them and take. You're still taking care of them, though, along the way.
I agree. And I tell my patients sometimes we're the maestro. We make sure every instrument's being played
orchestra,
on
yes,
time.
yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Right, and my focus is more on preventative care. So if I could see my patients once a year, do their annual blood work, and then, hey, everything's fine, I'll see you next year, that would be awesome.
That's the idea.
But that's not, the reality for some of my patients. But as close as I can get them to that, that's what I want to do. So for me, coming from a mental health background, we're taught to be client focused. So that just goes hand in hand with family medicine, where I can partner with my patients and listen to them and what their difficulties are, and then try to think sometimes out of the box. That's what I used to do in community mental health, to try to get them the things that they need, and also help educate them and understand how they got to this point and how to keep things from getting any worse.
And I think, prevention's key, right? And I always like to say be proactive, not reactive. And all of that, those, cliches are the truth. And especially when it comes to your health care.
Yes.
I'm sure that you all would say, if you would just come once a year and come get blood work and let me check your blood pressure and stuff, the world would be a happier place.
Absolutely.
But as a patient, we just won't take time for ourselves, and there's a million other things that we feel like we should be doing, or just keep forgetting to schedule that appointment or whatever. So, but you need to advocate for yourself, and you need to take care of yourself. So that's why we have these lovely people from Holzer here.
Yeah. What I like to tell patients is, if you're a parent and you've ever flown, they tell you to put your oxygen mask on first. Right. Because otherwise you could pass out and then the child has nobody to assist them. And I explain that to my patients as well, is you have to take care of you first, because if you don't, you can't help anyone else. And some of the things that I find, especially in rural areas, is that you're taking care of multiple generations of family. And so
it's cultural here.
Yes. And so if you don't take care of yourself, that family member may end up in foster care, or they may end up in a nursing home, right, where that they're not going to get the same level of care. They're still going to get excellent care, but not the same level that you would provide as their family member.
Sure.
So I kind of frame it in that way, and I think people understand that. And then we can work on whatever they would like to tackle first, and then slowly chip away at their issues and get them stable, and hopefully prevent more. I mean...
and I think you make a good point there, as some people don't want to go to the doctor because they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear that they have high blood pressure. I don't. They don't want to hear that their cholesterol is too high and that they need to work out and move their butts and all of those things. So, but that's okay. That's what you all are there for, is to help guide them along the way.
I've heard so many
and
times.
no judgment, right? Like
absolutely.
I think you feel like you're going to get yelled at when you go to the doctor, and that's not the case at all.
No. I've heard so many times people are like, I was completely healthy until I went to the doctor. And it's like, no, you just didn't know.
Ignorance is bliss, right?
Right.
Feels like that sometimes.
And so many issues, if you catch them early enough, then they're not going to get into chronic conditions where you might have to see multiple specialists and your whole life revolves around going to the doctor's office. We like to take care of problems early so that you are stable and can go out there, and live your life and enjoy it, rather than coming to see us all the time.
Yeah.
And I always walk in and introduce myself to my patients and say, welcome to the shindig, welcome to the party. This isn't a depressing environment. We're going to work hard to keep you on earth as long as God wants you to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say, I'm just going to toot Holzer's horn for a second. Just the environment in general there, when you walk in the clinic or even the hospital, it's not cold and stark and it is a homey feel when you go there. And then when you have people like you all on top of it, it does feel family and kind of homey. So that's great. So why wouldn't you want to go?
Right.
It's fun.
It's a party.
It is a party. And who doesn't like to party, right? Absolutely.
I've told my patients, as a counselor, part of my role was to try to get them to cry, but as a family doctor, my role is to try to get them to laugh.
Perfect.
Yes.
That's really good. I love that. So so you are the attending physician.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of oversee the residents as well as doing what you're doing in your practice.
Yeah.
How do you sleep?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, a little bit. In between other hobbies that I have at home. But yeah, it's I don't know if I say overseer as we're working together to take care of a community.
Okay, love
and
that.
at the same time, they're picking up some education, and I think we're doing some good work, taking care of some good people.
Very good. So now, do you actually all see patients on your own, or how does that work?
We'll see patients ourselves, and then we will at least check in with Dr. Huntley, kind
Okay.
of run by him our plan, what we're thinking, and then sometimes he'll come and see them with us, and sometimes he'll be like, okay, that's fine, just let me
Yeah.
go.
And I tell patients they get the 2-for-1 special.
Love that.
So they see the patient,
Well,
they
that's
come
great.
and report, then we go see the patient, and we chat if there's any issue in between.
Hey, 2 sets of eyes on you is better than one, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And I think family practice, and we didn't talk about this, is so cool because you do see kind of like birth to death.
The
Absolutely.
saying is cradle to grave.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, yours is more tactful than what I just said. But no, it's true. You guys get to see everybody, and then you get the opportunity to follow someone throughout their life.
Which is like the most
how
awesome
rewarding
thing
is
ever.
that?
Really
You
exciting.
get to start right when they're establishing those bad habits, and then talk them out of those bad habits,
I love
and help them
that.
establish some new good habits.
Right.
I've heard so many stories about people that started seeing someone and then they got to see them through their pregnancy and
Yeah.
having
Yes.
and then started seeing the kid and that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have at least a couple of people that I see their whole family right now, and it's very exciting.
It is cool. And I mean, as this is not the same, but I understand what you're saying because as a restaurant owner, I see these babies being grown in mommy's belly and we feed them and then they get born and then they, it's just over the years and then they grow up and you're like, oh my gosh, I feel like we've been part of
And
their
I would
lives.
argue it is
Yeah.
the same. You're part of the community, and you're
Right.
watching this person grow and been with
Well,
them while
thank
they're
you
growing.
for saying that. But it is fun. You grew up, you got raised on mac and cheese because
Yeah.
that's what mom could eat and it didn't make her sick. And so all of these babies, how they were brought up. So very cool. I mentioned the stupid pandemic a bit ago. What are some of the changes that you have all seen, and where do you think healthcare is going as far as changing, or is it at all? Because I know telehealth became kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Do you see technology being put more into the
And
mix?
I think if anything, that's what COVID did show us. COVID did show us that it is possible to take care of humans and not be in the same room with them.
Okay.
And that was a very valuable lesson that I think we probably will take forward and develop more as the years progress. And I would like to see that progress more,
And I think you need to make sure that you're discerning because there are some things that you can't do over a video visit or
Yeah.
a phone visit.
Correct.
But there's some things that you can. And so making sure that you utilize both appropriately and be seen when you need to be seen and just have a phone visit when
Very good point.
that is more appropriate. I think that is definitely something that can go forward with.
And I self-identify as a nerd. So I grew up watching Star Trek and all of that, play D&D. We have our little D&D group
Love
with
that.
the residents, right? And everything, and I do LARP and all that. But yeah, so I picture healthcare going towards you're in your home and you have the beam that comes down whenever you're sick, right? Or for your annual, and then the medicine kind of materializes on a table next to you. Like, I see that's kind of the direction that we're going in, where computers can help us diagnose a lot easier. And, you know, from a mental health perspective, we didn't even know what the brain was doing really until the 90s when we first had that technology to look and see, you know, and now genetics has just exploded. And so we have additional tools, you know, whereas before, you know, even 30 years ago, 50 years ago, you know, you had your hands, you had your eyes, and you had your ears to try to figure out. So when I rotated with doctors who've been around for a very long time, like Dr. Valley down at Sycamore before he retired, you know, you see the huge difference in, you know, what we're able to do and use our tools, the technological tools, in order to help patients. But I think it needs to be a joining, right? I don't want technology to completely take over,
right?
Because there's some discussion about AI replacing nurses and doctors. I think that's the wrong direction to go in. I think that you still need that human being who's going to help you. But even in surgery, like we now have robotic assisted surgeries, you know, those kind of things. There are some AIs that can diagnose cancer quickly, you know, so that the sooner you figure out the diagnosis, the sooner you can initiate treatment, the better the outcome. So I want to use technology as one of my tools in my toolkit. Right? That's what I would talk to even clients about when I was a counselor is, you know, if everybody was born with an owner's manual, you wouldn't need us because you just look on page 57, oh, you know, they're teething and therefore that's causing their behavior problems, you know, or something like that, right? So in medicine, we also don't have owner's manuals, and so we have to use our senses to try to figure out what is going on with the patient and then what's the right treatment for them.
Sure, that human aspect of it, the thinking part.
Right, and computers help us do that because we can make order sets. So, you know, if you have a headache, these are the first basic orders that we're gonna utilize, or, you know, conservative treatment, and what does that look like? You know, where it may be ice and rest and things like that, and some over-the-counter pain medicine if they sprained an ankle or something like that. So all the way up to you have a complex fracture because you were in a car accident, and now we need to bring in an MRI or a CT scan, right? And also consult ortho. So that's how I see those things happening. And when during COVID, of course, was while I was in med school and you came in right at the end of it, and so we couldn't do rotations the same way as what we did.
That had to have been challenging.
It was. So I feel like, you know, we lost some of our hands-on learning. And so now we're making up for that.
Sure.
But also we're so used to wearing masks, right, that, you know, we now have some infectious diseases we're concerned about that are increasing throughout the nation and even really the world. And so we're used to that, and, you know, getting people seen quickly so that we can hopefully prevent somebody from catching it. You know, the other part is my elderly population, they don't want to come in the winter. Right, and so
I get it.
Right, and I don't necessarily want to drive in ice either.
I'd rather be at home or
warm.
So,
Not to mention increased slips and falls during that same time.
Exactly. So for them, you know, I tell them I need to see you X amount of time depending on their issues. Like, but over the winter, like we plan, okay, you're going to come in the fall, get your flu shot, you know, anything else that you need. And then, you know, we'll do phone visits. But if the weather's nice, you know, it's dry, but it's cold, you know, still come in.
Absolutely.
You know, but if the weather's bad, you know,
Maybe a phone visit.
it can be a phone or a video visit.
Sure.
Right. And there are some challenges if people don't understand technology, but we try to work with them on that as well.
Yeah, call a 4-year-old. They'll get you.
Yeah,
there,
exactly.
no problem.
Yes.
It's fine. Well, very good. And we want to thank you all again for years of schooling so that you can take care of all of our dumb butts that are overweight and, you know, probably smoke too much and whatever. I don't smoke, by the way.
Good.
Yes. But, you know, I know our area, as you said, you like taking care of people with diabetes and all of that stuff. And that's very, I think, prolific in our area. But it's like...
I think it's one of those things, just as we get more technologically advanced and we flow into more processed foods, those are conditions we're just seeing more of. Yeah.
Right. And I think
Stay on the outside of the grocery store.
Deal.
Yeah.
Right?
And like you mentioned about technology, we now have CGMs, a constant glucose monitor. So you put those on your arm, and then you can see what foods are affecting your blood sugar, and you avoid those foods. So, you know, those are things that are happening that are benefiting your everyday person.
Yes.
You know, and they don't have to drive to Columbus all the time. You know, where I'm from is South Central PA. Originally looks just like here, but you know, we'd have to send people down to DC or Baltimore or Hershey, right, for their care. And here it's kind of the same way. Sometimes you have to send them to Columbus or Huntington, right? So the more that we can keep them home here,
Love that.
right, and educate them so that they can make better choices, I think it's going to be better for the community as a whole.
I think it is too. It's better for continuity of care. I think it's better ultimately for the community.
It's better for them to actually like follow, because there's some people that are like, I'm not going up to
Right,
that
again,
far, like-
it's hard enough to get people to drive up on the hill.
Right.
Like getting them to drive to Huntington or Columbus is a whole other
Yeah.
situation
Yes.
for a number of reasons.
Yes.
So, well, very good. So, I guess I do need to let you all get back to work, taking care of all these people. How do people schedule with you? Are you accepting new patients?
I am not. I'm taking care of my patient list that I already have established since a resident. But I will be working with the residents, and they are both, as well as the other two that we have, will be establishing their patient population. They can get patients in by just calling in, setting up patient appointments with any of the residents they'd like to see, and then they get the 2-for-1 special. So you'll see a resident, we'll chat about you, and then you'll see me as well.
I think you can also
that.
set up an appointment online.
Yes,
Yes.
that's a possibility as well.
Yep, Holzer.org, right?
Yes.
Yep, yep. And it, the Holzer website is super user-friendly, and it's really good. So you can get all your test results. It's really cool. You can get all your, it's really neat.
Yeah.
I had blood work done the other day, and it was like, I'm standing in the kitchen, and it's like 15 minutes later, and I got a ding. I was like, what?
Honestly, sometimes you can see your lab work before we can.
Yes.
Yes.
That is wild.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, is Diana Wright going to be yelling at me today? Or is she going to? Okay, I think I'm all right this time.
Sometimes people will call and ask questions like, what about this on my lab work? And I'm like, I haven't even seen your lab work.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Give me a minute to look at it.
Right.
So it's a fast system, and once we get the lab work, we interpret the lab work.
Yes.
Or either us or our staff will call the patient, let them know what's going on. And if they're looking through the portal, that's another cool system that we have, where it's like texting your doctor. You can ask us questions directly, and then we can send that communication directly through the portal to the patients.
And that's really cool. And don't be shy to do that. I mean, it's way
Absolutely.
easier on everybody
Absolutely,
to do that.
absolutely. Allows for instant communication.
Yeah, love that. Well, thank you all so much for coming in, and come back anytime. It's such a pleasure having you today, and best of luck in furthering your careers.
Thank you.
Thanks for having
you.
us.
Of course. And all right, well, we do have another special guest here, and we're going to be talking about an event coming up in June, and we're going to find out all about that. So we do have a couple of messages, and we'll be back right after that.
From breaking news to heartwarming stories, The Telegram is your ticket to the latest buzz in town.
Read your daily dose of local headlines, sports, and entertainment and more in hand and on paper.
Get a print and digital subscription for only $7.95 per month. Delivered fresh every Wednesday and Saturday.
Visit thetelegramnews.com or call 740-286-3023 today.
Don't just read the news, be a part of it.
Saturday, August 16th is Southern Rock Woodstock in the Gallipolis Fairgrounds. This event will feature 3 decades of original artists and legends, such as Leonard Skinner, 38 Special, and Molly Hatchet. In light of this event, Total Media will be giving away 4 VIP tickets. For a chance to win these exclusive passes, comment your favorite Southern Rock song, and our staff will vote on which one is the best. Good luck, and may the best man rock out.
All right, And we are back with Kelsey Harris. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. And if you would pull up there just so people can hear you. She says she's nervous, but she's not. We're not going to let her be nervous. So I see that you are wearing a shirt that says the Kinsey Brooke Foundation. Can you tell us a little bit about that, please?
The Kinsey Brooke Foundation was started in honor of our daughter that was stillborn in June of 24. We provide care packages to other grieving parents. Just because when I gave birth in Columbus, so there was like more resources available. But after I was released from the hospital and came home, I felt like it was a struggle to find anything. Mm-hmm. So I started creating the care packages with resources that I had to hunt and find myself. That way, when people lost their baby in the hospital, because I donate the packages to the local hospitals.
Thank you. That is amazing.
They have access to the resources immediately, as well as keepsakes and journals and stuff to help work through their grief.
And I know that this is not easy for you to talk about, but thank you for opening up and talking about something that most people wouldn't be willing to.
That's the goal, honestly, because I call it grieving out loud. I want other people to feel comfortable to talk about their loss, because there shouldn't be such a stigma around it. And you should be able to talk about your child just as much as your living children. It shouldn't be awkward, and you want to celebrate their birth dates and things like that. Mm-hmm. So I'm just trying to break the silence.
You know, as somebody, well, you know, the ship has sailed as far as Jen having a baby here, because, and I've never had children, so I'm too old now. But as I was growing up and, you know, through family and, of course, many friends along the way, I had no idea how many even miscarriages there are, stillborn children, and correct me if I say something wrong, I'm sorry if I do, until I lived it through friends or family members. It happens way more than what you would think.
Almost everyone knows someone. I mean, even if someone doesn't say it, almost every family, I would say, has a family member or a friend who has lost a child through pregnancy or infant loss. But actually, it's like 1 in 4 for miscarriage and 1 in 8 for stillbirth. So that's like every 1 in 1,000 births end in stillbirth. And that's a lot.
It is a lot. And I think it's kind of like mental health, and maybe they go hand in hand, but why do people not talk about it?
It makes other people uncomfortable. They don't know what to say. I always tell people, if you don't know what to say, a simple "I'm sorry for your loss" is okay, or "Do you want to talk about your baby?" Because we do. People are worried that we are going to be sad because you bring them up. Yeah, it does bring up some sad memories, but it also keeps their memory alive, because there were good times. I mean, when you find out you're pregnant, you're happy, and you want to remember those things too. And you don't want your child to be forgotten, just like you don't want if you have living children, you don't want them to be forgotten either.
Sure, absolutely. And I'm so glad that you're here. This is an amazing conversation. So tell us about the Kinsey Brooke Foundation, and what people can do to help, or how can people receive help?
Well, as I said, we provide the care packages, and we also offer peer-to-peer support, which is like we have a website. It's www.kinseybrookfoundation.com. You can get on there and you can request a care package if you didn't receive one at one of the hospitals that we donate to. There's a form you can fill out, or you can message us on Facebook. And then the peer-to-peer support, we connect you with someone else who has experienced loss. So sometimes it's really healing to be able to talk to someone else that has experienced the same thing as you, someone else who really understands.
That makes sense.
And yeah.
So tell me, if you don't mind getting a little personal, you say you had Kinsey, mm-hmm. and she was stillborn, and you were in Columbus. What were some of the resources that you received up there that have been lacking, maybe in Southern Ohio or other places for that matter? What did they do to help you through that most horrific situation?
They they did offer a care package for one, which when I contacted a couple of our local hospitals, they didn't really have things like that, which is why I did that. And then as well as they connected me to a group that could connect me to specific grief counselors and stuff like that, or other peer-to-peer support, or like there was another walk I went to in Columbus for the pregnancy and infant loss, stuff like that.
Sure. And when you talk with the peer-to-peer support, what's that like? Is everybody's story different, or do you feel like you're kind of all feeling the same way?
Everyone's story is definitely different, but in the end, it's all, so we're all feeling the grief. Some people might blame themselves, some people might blame their doctor, but in the end, it's all focused around the sadness because you planned a life for that baby, and like most people, as soon as you find out, you start planning the future with that baby, and then you're grieving not only the baby being gone, but the future that you thought you was going to have for them.
And for yourself, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, with them.
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense. And what would be in the care packages? I'm curious about that.
We put in everyone, I put a book, it's called Grieving the Child I Never Knew. And it has like things for specific dates that would be hard, like if you gave birth before your due date, something like that. Birthdays, holidays, your first holidays without them. And it also has little prompts in it. And then I usually put a prompted journal in there to like help you work through your grief, because some people, you can't just think of these things when you're journaling. So there's that. And then I also put keepsakes, like the ones I donate to the hospitals. I put like little ink pads in, so you can get extra footprints and stuff like that. And then a little keychains that say "Mom and Dad of an Angel." And then I have someone that donates crocheted little blankets and hats that I also go to the hospital for them.
That is beautiful. Thank you.
It really brings a sense of healing for me, although I'm sad that anyone has to experience pregnancy and infant loss. It's one of the ways I feel like I can still mother her and love her even though she's not here.
I think that's amazing. Good for you. Well, let's talk about the walk that you have planned coming up.
It's called A Walk to Remember. It's June 28th here at Manpower Park in Jackson. It'll be starting at 10 a.m.
Okay.
There will be a reading of the names, like your angel babies' names, if you're comfortable with that. You would register on our website to sign up for the walk, and then there's a little section where you can put your baby's name so we can make sure that they're included in the reading, just like a little remembrance reading and honor them. And also every grieving family will receive a rose. Lenny Blooms is going to donate those for us. And then we're going to walk, I don't have the exact map in my head, but we're going to take a short walk
We're going to take a walk.
Jackson, and there will be other
Follow all the people.
Yes, there will be signs and things like that, but there will be other foundations there, like that I have contacted from other cities that they are going to come and provide their resources to. So if you're still in the grieving process, or someone who is, there will be other resources that you can get. And I think, honestly, the grieving process doesn't really end, so it would be nice to have those.
Absolutely. So what has been most helpful to you?
Honestly, starting the foundation. Because,
Sure.
Again, although it's sad, other people have lost their babies. It's to be able to know that I'm helping other people work through their grief is comforting to me, as well as I like to journal as well. So I put resources in the box that I have personally used that I feel like they work, or help, I should say.
You've been there and done that. I mean, unfortunately, you've been there and done that, but it's who knows better than somebody that has.
Yeah, this wasn't my first loss either. I had an early miscarriage in 2016 as well, and then I was infertile for 8 years, so we were very surprised when we found out we were pregnant because our son had just turned 1, so we were like, are we really pregnant?
Wow. Yeah, that would have been a shock.
Yeah. An exciting shock, but...
Yes. I don't know how to ask this tactfully. So is it surprising to most moms when their babies are stillborn, or is it something that they would know along, or both?
Both, honestly. It's a shock for a lot of people. But for me, it wasn't really because I had complications beforehand. I had I don't know if you know what it is, but I had an incompetent cervix, so they placed an emergency cerclage for me, which is like a stitch in your cervix so you don't go into preterm labor.
I see.
But it didn't work, and that's why Kinsey was stillborn, so I knew it was coming when they said the stitch wasn't holding. But for a lot of people, they just feel like decreased fetal movement, and they go in, and then they're shocked by that.
I heard a story the other day where, I mean, it was like the mom had carried this baby full term, and they had just had an ultrasound, and everything was good, and went in, and baby was stillborn, and they have no idea why. How did we get from days here to there?
It's definitely, there can be a lot of reasons, and they do tests afterwards, but sometimes you never know. Like, I don't know why I went into preterm labor. They did test my placenta for, like, infection and stuff like that, because that can send you into preterm labor, but I didn't have any of that, and like sometimes there's cord accidents, things like that, but also I didn't have any of that. So sometimes, unfortunately, you're just left wondering why.
Which is just cruel.
Yes.
Sometimes too.
It doesn't feel like you get a lot of closure when there's not a why.
I would agree with that. Yeah, that makes sense. And you know, there's people that struggle with infertility, and then there's people that struggle as you have, and and even in the infertility world, when you don't have the why, it's just like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, what? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I feel like through the peer support, I have a lot of experience in a lot of those areas because I have been infertile and I've experienced loss, and we've adopted, so like we have so I feel like that's very helpful in that aspect. But yeah.
Well, I think what you're doing is absolutely amazing, and especially fills a need that I didn't realize was lacking here in our area, but obviously it is, or was, and so thank you for that. But how do people sign up for your walk, or how can they participate, and how can they help you continue to help others?
Well, we have an event on Facebook where you can there's a link to the site where you can register. It is a free event, but there are T-shirts for sale, which would help fund the walk.
Okay.
And we are looking for sponsors so we can provide refreshments and like a tent if there's rain or anything like that. Mm-hmm. You can sponsor on the website, have a sponsorship form. And I really wouldn't be able to do any of this without sponsors and my generous donors. A lot of people donate through my Facebook page because I have a donation link on our Facebook page, the Kinsey Brooke Foundation.
Is that the Facebook page that people can go to?
Yep, it's the Kinsey Brooke Foundation.
Awesome.
And so without them, I wouldn't be able to keep providing the care packages. So I really appreciate everyone who has supported me along the way, because a lot of it is community support, and without them, I wouldn't be able to do it.
And are there any goals that you have coming up as far as maybe growing or doing more things?
Yeah. Actually, I was just talking to my husband about that the other day. After them...
I'll shut up. He's like, don't encourage her.
After we hopefully meet our goal for the walk and make it really nice, because I want to give out some things, like remembrance things at the walk, like little pregnancy and infant loss awareness pins and stuff like that. But after that, I hope to be able to raise funds to donate cuddle cots to hospitals that don't have them. And
what is that?
It is it looks like they put it inside the bassinet that is in the room with you, because some people, if the hospital doesn't have the cuddle cot, you don't get to keep your baby with you for very long after they pass away, just because, of the natural process after that. Thankfully, since I birthed further away, they did have one, and so I got to keep her with me as long as I wanted until I got discharged the next day. So I would like to be able to raise funds for those so that every parent gets to be able to spend the time that they need with their baby.
Okay. All right. And so that's a great goal. So we'll work toward that one next. How's that? All right. So the walk again is June, you said 28th?
June 28th. It starts at 10 a.m. in Manpower Park here in Jackson.
Okay. And you can just show up?
Yep, but if you want to make sure that you receive a rose and get your angel's name read, then you should register on the website. That way we can have all that stuff prepared for you. And you don't just have to be a lost parent. You can, if you know someone or you just want to support other parents who have lost, please come.
Okay, that makes total sense. A walk to remember, June 28th, starting at 10 a.m. And visit the Kinsey Brooke Foundation on Facebook or the website, and you can find more information.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for sharing your story, and it's in doing beautiful things.
Well, thank you for having me and giving me a chance to spread some awareness on a larger platform than what I've been able to.
You come back anytime you need to, okay?
Thank
or
you.
Or you want to. I don't know that you ever want to, but
I do.
Come back anytime you need to.
I definitely was nervous, but
it wasn't so bad, right?
No, it's worth it to be able to help other people. So.
Yeah. Well, Kelsey, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. And we do have Pete Wilson just walked in, and he has some news. So we do have another message, and we'll be back with Pete.
Did you know Jackson is home to a locally owned and operated full-service print shop? Zip Printing covers all your print, signage, and design needs. From business cards, booklets, and posters to yard signs, banners, screen-printed t-shirts, oversized signage, and more. We can help you or your business advertise and look good doing it. Zip Printing also offers logo design. Allow us to assist you in building or elevating your brand today. Zip Printing is located in the Stockmeister Plaza at 708 East Main Street in Jackson, Ohio. So stop in or give us a call at 740-286-3023.
Well, welcome back, and Pete Wilson is here with his green shirt on, which means he's disappeared.
Oh, no. Did I?
Oh, Adrian fixed you.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I looked blue there, but that's okay. The blue's
well,
a nice
we had
color.
to make you blue instead of green so you didn't disappear.
Okay. All right.
But no, welcome back, Pete. And I know that you have a ton of news to get to. Some fun things, maybe.
Yeah, there's some fun things. We'll start off with a fun thing. This is such a great event that the Jackson-Vinton Farm Bureau does with a lot of help from some of the ag professionals in Jackson and Vinton counties. It is called the Agriculture Experience Day, and it was last Friday. They always do it in early May. And they take all the second graders from Jackson County and Vinton County and bring them to the Jackson County Extension Office and the research farm out there. We're side by side, just off Standpipe Road. And the idea is to educate them on agriculture and agriculture farming type things firsthand. You know, they see things. They just you don't read it in the book, you see things, which is even better. And so that happened last Friday. Jeremiah Shaver was out there, and we have an excellent way to kind of show you how fun that was and how many kids were involved. We've got a produced video. So,
okay.
Adrian, take it away, and we'll let Jeremiah take us from there.
Good deal.
Jackson-Vinton Farm Bureau held its annual Agricultural Experience Day on Friday, May 9th. The event is held in partnership with the Ohio State University Extension Office and the Ohio Agricultural Research and Development Center Research Farm. This year's event brought together over 500 second grade students from 9 schools across Jackson and Vinton counties. In attendance were Jackson's elementary schools, Southview, Westview, and Northview, Oak Hill Elementary, Wellston's Bundy Elementary, Vinton County's Central Elementary, South Elementary, and West Elementary, as well as Christian Life Academy.
Hello, I'm Mick Scott, President of Jackson-Vinton County Farm Bureau. We're here at Ag Day. The reason we put this off is there's a lot of kids in school, a lot of young kids in the country, don't know where their food comes from, don't understand anything about agriculture. So we'd like to introduce this to them at an early age, and maybe it's something they can keep going as they get older.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Puckett, Mrs. Jackie Puckett from West Elementary in Vinton County. We love coming to Ag Day. We've been coming since the beginning, and the kids enjoy everything, especially the cows.
Hi, I'm Jackie Holzapple. I am here with our second graders from Bundy Elementary, and we're having a really good time here at Ag Day, learning about all the different stations and things here that the kids get to learn about.
Hi, I'm Marcia Boggs from Oak Hill Elementary School, and we've been coming to Ag Day ever since it was introduced to the school. The second graders enjoy it and have a good time. They get to pet the animals and then learn everything there is about agriculture.
Hi, I'm Nancy Spires, second grade teacher at Northview Elementary. This is quite a number of years that I've been attending the Ag Day since the very first one. It's one of the best field trips. Our second grade students love it. We love the animals, the projects. We can't wait to get our day going.
And with that, it was time to change stations. The students went from station to station about every 10 minutes. The tradition of students competing in a t-shirt design competition prior to the event continued. All of the classes received a copy of the winning t-shirt designed during the event. The winning design was made by Bundy Elementary student Owen Husap. The event was an exciting and fun-filled day with many learning experiences and all kinds of animals. The kids even got to go on a wagon ride. There were a total of 19 stations set up this year for children to visit, ranging from farm animals to learning opportunities. A number of people and organizations helped make the event a successful experience for all involved.
Wow.
That looks so fun.
Why didn't they do that when we were in second grade?
No.
Or sixth grade even? That would have been cool, especially, to the kids. And let's face it, many of them who are not exposed. We live in a small town and rural area, but that doesn't mean that you get out on the farm to see things firsthand.
Did you get to go to Mrs. Loxley's farm?
No, I did not.
Oh, man, you missed out on that too?
Yeah, I was. Mrs. Loxley was a teacher at Kinnison Elementary when I went through. She was in the other third grade because there were two of them. But I think she did a lot of the stuff out there at the Shire. I think she called it. She called it the Shire. A little bit later. But
I got to experience a lot of that.
Great outdoor education, and coming from
amazing.
a great teacher too, of course.
Yes.
But Agriculture Experience Day, Jeremiah Shaver did that wonderful video there. He's very good at those. It gives you a great snapshot of what that experience was like, and we've got some newspaper coverage coming here in an upcoming edition on that as well. All right, we want to tell you about some other things. There was a press conference or media event that was held out at the Beach Hollow landfill. The Beach Hollow landfill is the landfill that serves Jackson County. I think it serves more than Jackson County, but it serves the Jackson County municipalities and whatever. Rumpke has it. They call it the Beach Hollow landfill. It's off State Route 32 in Milton Township.
Okay.
Well, out there, as well as at Rumpke's Pike Sanitation landfill near Waverly, they had a press conference at Beach Hollow on Tuesday, a press conference at Pike Sanitation on Wednesday to announce that there are renewable natural gas plants now in place at both of those landfills. This is a big deal scientifically and environmentally.
Okay, I was going to say, what does this mean?
There is what the renewable natural gas plant looks like at Beach Hollow.
Okay.
So it's a pretty big thing. And what it does is they had a ribbon cutting to celebrate that it's going now. But what it does, it takes the gases that are natural from the decomposition process at a landfill and turns it into renewable energy. So it's a good energy thing, and it's a good environmental thing.
Okay.
And it's a cutting edge thing. Rumpke is allowing it to happen at both of its landfills, and they have many other landfills, but the two local ones, the closest ones are Jackson County and Pike County. They allowed this to happen there, and a company called Aricia, I think I pronounced that right. Mm-hmm. They're the company that built and developed the natural gas plant, and representatives of Aricia and Rumpke, higher-ups, were there on Tuesday and Wednesday to announce this, and we will have a story in Saturday's paper on that. And it's one of those things, the landfill is off the beaten track. A lot of people have probably never been there.
Right.
But this is a big development there, scientifically and environmentally, right here in our own backyard, and it's certainly worthy of a news story. So we've got that coming. Okay, some other things to tell you, because we're going to run out of time. They're going to do the Field of Heroes, the Wellston Rotary Club in Wellston. What a great project that is.
So
cool. If you happen to be driving by there in the period from before Memorial Day to after Memorial Day, they have all those flags flying, big flags in perfect rows, perfectly aligned rows there on the old lot of the old high school on South Pennsylvania Avenue. And they're doing, again, this is the 5th year, believe it or not. They'll have today, or rather tomorrow, is the deadline to order a flag if that's what you're going to do.
Okay.
I mean, you pay to sponsor a flag, and so you contribute to that great display, and at the same time, you honor a personal hero. It can be a person dead or alive. It can be a military person, an active military person, a veteran. It can be a firefighter, a police officer. It can be your dad or granddad.
Sure.
It can be your favorite teacher. It's your personal hero. Organizations do it and individuals do it. And all you need to do is contact a member of the Rotary Club, or go online, go onto the Rotary Club's Facebook page, and there is a link there with information, and also to even do it online. But it starts next week, before Memorial Day, and tomorrow is the deadline to do a sponsorship for this year. So once again, that is the Wellston Rotary Club's Field of Heroes. There'll be an opening ceremony next Thursday. That's May the 22nd at 6 p.m. And the reading of the names, which is kind of like the ceremonial closing, although the flags will remain on display a little longer, that will be on Memorial Day appropriately, after the Memorial Day parade and ceremony up at Ridgewood Cemetery.
Okay.
So that will be time approximate after those two events. And then the Field of Heroes flags will remain on display until Wednesday. They will take them down sometime on Wednesday or at the end of Wednesday. So they'll be up for about a week, starting Thursday and going into Wednesday, at least through the Memorial Day weekend. Okay, a couple of organizations have stepped up to support the Field of Heroes, and we want to give them credit. The Wellston VFW, the Wellston American Legion, that is the Wellston VFW. Anthony Brenner, very familiar face in Wellston as the mayor, but he's also a veteran. And he's representing the VFW with a $1,000 check to the Field of Heroes.
Wow.
And that's Kim Burrows representing the Rotary Club. And the Wellston American Legion, we know what a good sponsor they are. They support a lot of things, and they're going to do the Field of Heroes.
That's right.
They did a $1,000 donation. And you have Bruce Conley, the former commander. He was in here yesterday.
Yep, he was.
You got Tom Downard representing the Wellston Rotary Club, and Andy Holzapfel, who I think is the finance officer, he has been, for the Wellston American Legion. I don't think I have a picture to show, but the Jackson Elks Lodge did a $500 donation. That was in the paper the other day. And the Elks Lodge does so much to support youth, patriotism, and veterans, and many other community things all throughout Jackson County and Benton County. All right, well, we lost in Wellston And younger folks, I'm not sure even you would remember this name, Jennifer, because you're not all that old.
Oh, well, bless your heart.
Right. Larry Walburn, does that name mean anything to you?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, Larry Walburn died this past Monday at the age of 91. And he was involved in Wellston city government for a long time.
Okay.
He was, at one time, he was the mayor. He was the council president. He was a council member. He was the service director at one time. He also was very much, I think we have his picture there, Adrian. That was that last one I sent you. There he is. Just a nice guy. I met him. His service in Wellston was actually even before my journalism career, where we covered Wellston, because in my younger days, there were papers in Jackson, paper in Wellston. But Larry did so much there in the 60s, the 70s, and into the 80s, I think. His career in public service, according to his obituary, stretched 44 years.
Wow.
Also, the man was involved in Wellston City Recreation for many years as a coach and a leader. He's in the Wellston Recreation Hall of Fame for that. They have a Hall of Fame for people that give that much. And you can see the T-shirt, see the Kentucky on there?
Yep.
He is a Kentucky Colonel. We know that is a great personal honor as well.
Yep.
But Larry died last Monday at the age of 91. And, I wanted to acknowledge that because sometimes the younger generation, even the middle generation, doesn't know what the older generation did.
Sure.
And what Larry did was some time ago, but he did it for a long time, and he did a lot. He followed Butch Hayburn, by the way, as mayor of Wellston. He stepped in there when Butch was named or was elected county sheriff. But Larry is going to have a memorial service in his honor at the First Presbyterian Church of Wellston at 1 p.m. on Friday. And I know that the R.M. Williams funeral service in Wellston is handling the arrangements, so you can go to that funeral home website and post a memory or tribute if you want to do that. So once again, Larry Walburn passes away at the age of 91. You could call him, he's one of the men that you could call Mr. Wellston. He gave a lot.
Gotcha.
All right. On the sports side, I want to mention a couple things. The Vinton County Lady Vikings started their softball tournament. They are the number 9 seed.
Okay.
They played at Greenfield McLean, the number 8 seed. Now, the lower the seed, the better you're supposed to be.
Right.
So therefore, Vinton County's playing on the road, and they're at least on paper the underdog.
Yep.
Well, you know what they did? They went there and they won. They won by. I don't have the score, but they won. Oh, they won 10-0. 10-0.
Oh.
In the quarterfinals, it was
Okay.
It was a mercy rule run victory because it was more than 10 runs. Senior pitcher Jordan Zinn, who is one of the valedictorians of the class for Vinton County, she pitched. She allowed only 1 hit, had 6 strikeouts. Also had a home run and 4 RBI. So she had one heck of a game. So congratulations to Jordan Zinn. Vinton County will now go to a district semifinal game at Logan High School next Tuesday, where they will play Hillsborough, who is top seeded. So that is a big jump up. But they've already jumped the first hurdle with a big victory over Greenfield. Also, I wanted to mention that the Frontier Athletic Conference track meet was held this week at Chillicothe. I believe it was on 2 different days, but there were 2 athletes from Jackson who won first place. Hard to do in a track meet.
Oh, heck yeah.
Josh Hutchison won the 100-meter dash and the 200-meter dash.
Oh.
He's fast.
I
He
guess
must be
so.
fast. And Parker Curtis, who is only a freshman, won the shot put on the girls' side.
Nice.
So congratulations to all them. Of course, all the sports coverage, the tournament games, regular season games, the FAC track meet, Todd Compton and Red Thompson Jr. will be working to get that in our Saturday paper.
All right.
So we'll have a lot more to talk about tomorrow.
That sounds great. Well, we appreciate you so much coming in, Pete, and I know you're a busy dude, so we'll let you get back to work. But
all right. Well, thank you very much.
stay cool today. It's going to be a hot one.
Into the 80s.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's okay. We'll take that over the 20s, won't we?
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in, and we will be right back here tomorrow. So stay cool and have a great day. Thanks for watching.
Good morning, and I'm here with Josh. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Today we are back in the studio with Josh. And what do you have for us today?
Oh my goodness, this is it's a fun time. This is Final Destination Bloodlines Week. So
Scary.
You and I have talked about this already, and I
Yes.
know that you've mentioned that you've seen them before, and maybe behind the scenes has talked about having seen them maybe when you were a little younger than you should have.
A little younger than I should have. I remember my parents were like, "You probably shouldn't watch these," and I was like, "Put the DVD right into the DVD." Like, do you remember that little like you put it into the DVD thing? I feel old now because like I was talking to my younger cousin about DVDs, and she was like,
"What's a DVD?"
And I was like, DVDs aren't even that old. Like, come on.
Right.
But yeah, I was a little too young to be watching them, but they're so good.
So Final Destination Bloodlines is the 6th movie in the Final Destination franchise, universe, whatever you want to call it. There are people out there who maybe they haven't seen the movie, but they know the famous scene of the logs falling off of the log truck and like going through a windshield. That's that was a Final Destination thing. So at CinemaCon this year, we were able to see kind of a 10-minute scene. And it was absolutely horrifying. But because of that scene, a movie like Final Destination is one I would never normally go watch. But my anxiety was so high, and the more trailers I watch, the more I want to see it. So I feel like I'm going to be giving some spoilers, but I'm going to try not to give the main spoilers. Okay? In the particular scene that there's, I think a part of the storyline, and you can catch this from the trailers, is that, of course, somewhere in the past, they have defied death. And so death is hunting them down. And they learn in this movie that if you kill someone, that you gain their time.
Okay, yeah.
So in this particular scene, what they've decided to do is like kill themselves. So it's like if you can die but be resuscitated,
Okay.
will that break the chain?
Okay.
So in this particular scene, they're in a hospital, and they end up in an MRI room. And if you know anything about MRI rooms, if you go in, the first thing you have to do is get rid of like all electronics, and that stuff can't go in there because it's a magnetic field. Well, in typical fashion that is the Final Destination movies, all of these different things are occurring that are, again, death trying to get to them. And examples are the MRI machine turns on and the guy that's in there is pierced in lots of places. And the magnetic field, of course, is turning on. But you see all of this metal stuff making its way towards the MRI machine. Of course, the machine is turned on because this triggered this, triggered this, triggered this, triggered this. So the entire time you're absolutely horrified going, oh my gosh, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? And I'm not going to give you any more spoilers than that, other than to say it was crazy. It is the reason I want to see this movie. And I've seen a lot of reaction videos to people who were at CinemaCon immediately talking about it going, okay, so I don't even like this stuff, but that scene is so well done, I have to go watch it. So a lot of people are anticipating this particular one because it just looks like it's going to be so good. So we're going to try something for fun.
Okay.
So we can't, here on Main Street TV, unfortunately, we can't just play the trailer for you, because if we do, it'll get blocked. And then our video gets lost, and that stinks for Main Street TV. So what I'd like you and I to do is we're going to watch the final trailer from the movie. So I'm trying to think, I mean, again, you can find this online. It's on YouTube. It's on everywhere. And what we're going to do is watch it, and I just want to kind of react. So I know that you think you've seen maybe parts of this, but It's pretty intense.
Okay, I'm preparing myself.
So this is a first for us here on Main Street TV, doing kind of a reaction video. Obviously, I'm just playing it from my computer because we don't want to get blocked. But you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go.
It's starting with the tongue getting pierced. I'm a little nervous.
Yeah. So what she sees is actually the guy is working in a piercing shop, and he's piercing someone's tongue.
I'm scared.
My old man just died. I come in as a favor, and now they want me to lock up.
Hey, 5-star review, yeah? Like and subscribe and all the things.
So he's in this piercing shop. But he's there by himself, and he just turned on a ceiling fan.
And there's like chains hanging from the ceiling, which I don't know how that would be smart, hanging chains from the ceiling.
You know, again, it's just decor. So he's turned on his sad music mix. I think his father has just died.
Yeah, it looks like he's tattooing himself.
He's giving himself a tattoo. There's this scary skull head, like, bouncing. Okay. So, stuff is, like, randomly falling. And that's when you know that things are happening. So, there's a chain that just fell from the ceiling, and it grabbed his nose ring. And it's wrapping around the ceiling fan.
No, oh my gosh. I'm stressing.
He's literally being pulled off the floor to the ceiling fan by his nose. And the room's on fire. He falls into the fire.
Yeah, I definitely have not seen this one.
And that was only 2 minutes.
Bro. Yeah, definitely. No.
So,
that's insane.
Again, I've never been a huge fan of. Sorry, let me see if I can get that to end. I've never been a huge fan of these kind of movies, but I'm so intrigued by what's happening.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Because of I can feel my heart racing.
Yeah, like I was stressing the entire time. That only being 2 minutes, and this movie's gonna be over like 2 hours, right?
Well,
like,
an hour and a half.
An hour and a half, okay. It's around like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
That's
crazy.
The original official trailer is them like having a family picnic, and a glass breaks. In the glass, a piece of the glass, a large piece, ends up in the ice bin.
That's the one I saw.
And, of course, ends up in someone's cup. So you're waiting for, like, this gonna swallow glass thing, right? But by the time the trailer's over, 2 minutes later, that is not at all what has occurred. But you're so focused on where's that piece of glass that it's like, all these other things are happening at the exact same time, and once the end hits, it is not even remotely close to what you thought it was going to be.
Ooh, I am really excited for this movie.
So again, if you are if you are of the faint of heart, this is probably not the movie for you. But I am going to say, I'm going to go see it.
I'm definitely going to see it. It looks good.
And I talk about a lot of these movies, but many times I don't get to see them. I've not seen the Minecraft movie yet.
Oh, it's so good.
So, it's hard when you're running a movie theater. You don't always get to watch it. And something like this, like I could go in there right now and go watch that movie. I'm not going by myself to go watch Final Destination. I'm not going to do it. I would much rather be in the theater with lots of people hearing their reactions. So opening weekend to me is going to be a great time to go catch this movie. or at least within the first 2 weeks, that's when you're going to want to catch it, because you don't want to watch this alone.
The only time I've watched a horror movie kind of alone was I watched Smile 2 in theaters with my boyfriend, and nobody else was in the theater.
Oh my gosh, no.
As soon as we got in there, he was like, "Can we leave? I'm scared." And I was like, yeah.
So again, that's the major release for this week. That's at Tri-City, Silver Screen, and Danbarry. Actually, I believe in Chillicothe we're anticipating it being a big enough release. It's actually playing on 2 screens, so it should be a really big deal. So that's the one I would encourage you all to go get. The next things we've actually already talked about, but you didn't get a chance to really be a part of that. So I do want to do this just so I can see. So there are some other movies that we do have out. They're still playing at Tri-City. You're going to want to catch them because they're leaving. Like Wednesday will be your last chance. A week from right now, we're filming on Wednesday, playing on Thursday. So next Wednesday will be your last chance. If you have not seen, Thunderbolts, if you've not seen Accountant 2, and if you've not seen a Minecraft movie, and you want to see those at Tri-City, you're going to need to go catch those either this weekend or by Wednesday of next week.
Okay, write that down.
Because once we hit next week on Thursday, so again, not the day you're watching this show, but the following week, I don't know that I'm going to be here to do this again next week. We're doing a little bit of family time, so we'll see what happens. I'm hoping to make it back. So the next week, the big 3 movies, which we've already talked about, are, of course, the Lilo and Stitch movie. So if you want to pull that movie poster. So one of the things for you all to know is that Lilo and Stitch, maybe you know this already as a cartoon, but this is a live action movie.
I'm really excited.
And the Stitch is just so cool.
I know.
I'm really excited about that live action portion. A movie like Mufasa when it came out, and just all these movies that have that live action portion. They're now able to do those things in Hollywood so well that you can bring cartoons to life.
And I love it too. I was so excited when I heard that it's becoming a live action because I loved the cartoon.
So again, Lilo and Stitch, that'll be opening next weekend. Along with that is the new Mission Impossible movie, The Final Reckoning. This is the one, again, I believe it's probably going to be the last one. I don't know that for certain. The reviews on this are absolutely wonderful right now. So I'm really excited to see what happens with this. We've officially dubbed the weekend for ourselves Mission Stitch.
I like that. That's
we couldn't decide whether to call it Mission Stitch or Lilo Impossible or Stitch Impossible. Stitch Impossible. So I think we chose Mission Stitch.
I like that. That's cute.
That's our little version of Barbenheimer. Okay?
I love that.
And then, of course, for my people who are followers of things from Angel Studios, we have The Last Rodeo will be coming to all 3 theaters as well. I will give you this heads up when it comes to Tri-City. At Tri-City, Last Rodeo will only be there for 6 days. So it will open, and tickets are already on sale. I'm physically on Tri-City's website now. And so it will open on the 22nd. That's where your Lilo and Stitch, Mission Impossible, Last Rodeo will all open that weekend, and Final Destination will be in its 2nd weekend. So it will be opening that day, but right now it is only projected to play through the 29th. So it's going to make its way in through your Memorial Day weekend. Let me make sure I'm telling you the correct thing. Yes. So it will only be available for those 6 days here. It will be available for at least, I think it's at least another 4 days, maybe 6 days in Chillicothe and in Gallipolis at Silver Screen. So, but if you want to catch it in Jackson, you're going to want to catch that one within its opening weekend or weekdays. Okay.
Okay.
And then the following week, tickets are also available now. I think they're available now. If they're not, they're going to be as soon as I leave here, and they will be available by the time you're watching this, is the new Karate Kid Legends movie.
I'm really excited for this one.
Again, the trailers for this are really great. What I like about it is very much a throwback to me, it's a throwback to the original, at least concept. What you're seeing is that Ralph Macchio's character and Jackie Chan's character, both of their trainings came from like the Miyagi-Do with Mr. Miyagi. And what happens is Jackie Chan has a student who is, I think through the fighting, there have been issues in his family, and so they've moved. Of course, what happens, just like the original Karate Kid, he moves and ends up, fighting and learning karate. And so the same thing is going to happen in this movie as well. And the young actor who plays, again, the child, the teenager in this movie, I guess he is a pretty well-known martial artist.
Really?
So he would be kind of the new Jackie Chan of the generation.
That's exciting.
If that makes sense.
I'm really excited for this movie. I was obsessed with the original movies as a kid. I'm obsessed with the TV show Cobra Kai.
Oh, Cobra Kai.
Good.
I love that show.
I'll never let anybody hear the end of it. I love the movies. I love the show. So I am very excited for this new movie. I don't know if it's going to have any other cameos from original characters except for Jackie Chan and
I'm not
Ralph
sure
Macchio.
because I believe based on the trailer, what actually happens is that Karate Kid actually happens in California, and in this case, Ralph Macchio is going to New York to train.
Okay.
To train the student. So I believe that's what I'm seeing. So it probably won't have a lot of cameos in it.
That's okay. As long as the OG Ralph Macchio and Jackie Chan's in it.
But
that's
Jackie Chan,
good.
Jackie Chan being involved in the Karate Kid, I think is really cool anyway. So I think this is going to be a really fun one for, how do I say this? For Gen Xers to make their way out there to take their children or their grandchildren to go watch a movie that was one that when maybe you were in your teens, the Karate Kid was huge for those of us in Gen X, so including me. So I love the Karate Kid movies. That's really it for me.
Dang, okay.
Okay. Once I get back, taking care of the stuff that I'm doing, we'll be hitting our free summer movies, which you can put that schedule up right now. We've already announced this. We are working with some of our sponsors, I believe, here in Jackson, that I don't want to say it out loud because I don't have it confirmed. So again, we have worked with our sponsors, and we will have that information coming very soon, and we'll give all of our sponsors their proper recognition as well. So.
That's so exciting. Well, thank you for coming on.
Yes.
And y'all need to check out the Final Destination trailer because that was actually crazy. And I'm really excited to watch that.
So that one's going to be the big one for this week. And then, like I said, everything's going to hit really fast. Oh, the last thing I did want to say, my fault. Real quick, if you are making your way to Chillicothe, there are several movies that we talked about last week that I told you were probably only going to be there for a very short amount of time. I was 100% correct. There's a movie called Fight or Flight with Josh Hartnett. It's going to have very limited showings this weekend and will be gone by the time we hit Lilo and Stitch. The Juliet and Romeo movie was not very well attended. Same thing, it will be playing for matinees this week. So if you really wanted to catch that movie with Rebel Wilson, Juliet and Romeo, the romance drama musical. Clown in a Cornfield, I've actually heard good things about this. Had several people who made their way both to Chillicothe and Gallipolis to see that. I've heard it's pretty good. So not a well-advertised movie, but Clown in a Cornfield will probably only be around for another week, so you want to catch that. Again, Thunderbolts will most likely continue in Chillicothe. Accountant 2 is very close to being done. Until Dawn Sinners, if you have not had a chance to catch Sinners, you're going to want to do that soon as well. Again, they've been around for a little while, but now everything's going to change over very quickly when we hit the summer. So, and King of Kings, if you did not see that one, you're going to want to catch it. And Minecraft will probably be around for a little bit longer both in Chillicothe and in Gallipolis, just not quite as long here in Jackson.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, yeah, thank you for
it.
coming on.
Yes.
And make sure to go check out those movies while you can. And thank you guys for watching.
Hi, Mom.